Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be exploring a topic that is as fascinating as it is complex: narcissism. It's a word that's often thrown around in everyday conversations, but in clinical psychology, it has a much deeper and more nuanced meaning. We'll talk not only about the classic narcissist, the one who craves the spotlight, but also about a subtler, harder-to-spot form: covert narcissism, sometimes referred to as vulnerable narcissism. In psychology, narcissism is considered a personality trait that exists on a spectrum. In small amounts, it can be healthy, helping us build self-esteem and confidence. But when it becomes excessive, it turns into something dysfunctional and potentially pathological. According to the DSM-5, narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is marked by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. But these traits don't always manifest in obvious ways. That's why we distinguish between overt and covert narcissism. Overt narcissism is the more recognizable form. These individuals appear confident, charismatic, and dominant. They express their sense of superiority openly, and honestly, they thrive on attention and praise. Marco, 42, works in finance. He walks into the therapy room exuding confidence, eager to list his achievements and successes. He rarely mentions others, and when confronted or criticized, he becomes sarcastic or angry. In relationships, he's seductive but emotionally absent. The overt narcissist tends to take over conversations, shows little empathy, and often devalues those who challenge their image. Much harder to detect is covert narcissism. Here, the sense of superiority is hidden beneath a surface of insecurity, sensitivity, or even depression. These individuals may appear shy or self-critical, but underneath lies the same need to feel unique and validated, only expressed in indirect or passive ways. Laura, 35, presents as fragile and overly self-critical. She often speaks about feeling misunderstood or overlooked. Even gentle feedback is perceived as deeply wounding. Beneath this vulnerability lies a rigid, idealized self-image, one that sees itself as special, but not appreciated enough. So covert narcissists, well, they manipulate in much more subtle ways, like using guilt, emotional withdrawal, or even playing the victim. It's definitely a quieter form of narcissism, but honestly, it can be just as emotionally impactful. Both overt and covert narcissists share, a fragile core identity that really relies on external validation. There are deep relational difficulties here, rooted in a lack of authentic empathy and in using others as mirrors of self-worth. And there's often this internal emptiness, which is masked either by grandiosity or by emotional suffering. Narcissism doesn't wear just one mask. It can be loud, dazzling, and attention-seeking, or it can be quiet, sensitive, and quietly manipulative. In both cases, we are looking at personality structures seeking validation, but struggling to build genuine connections. As clinicians, educators, parents, or honestly, simply as fellow human beings, learning to recognize both faces of narcissism is crucial. Not to label, but to understand, and where possible, to support and heal.